Now, I love decorating with pumpkins. I love their color, I love their shape, I love their smell, I love all the yummy goodness that comes from pumpkins. So, what I want to do now is I want to share with you how to create your own pumpkin from polymer clay and turn it into this really cute little photo holder. So to create your little pumpkin place card holder or your photo frame, you're only going to need a few colors of clay. So you're going to need a large ball of orange. This ball is about 2 inches big. You'll need a little ball of green and a log of brown. We're going to be using the toothpick as a tool to create our little detail in the pumpkin and the leaf. And then right here I have a piece of coiled 18 gauge wire that we'll use to actually create the area for the photo frame. So let's set these other things here aside. And let me show you how to create the pumpkin. Obviously you're going to roll it into a ball like I have here, but you'll also notice that this ball is a little more, well, you can kind of see a faint triangle shape there, and that's because I've pushed it together here with my fingers to kind of bring it up a little bit more and create the pumpkin shape. Something like this. It doesn't have to be a perfect ball, it doesn't have to be a perfect oval to create your shape. Next, like you see I've done here, I've created some indentations with my toothpick. So you're just going to come from the bottom to the top around like this with your toothpick. And this just kind of creates some definition. It's looking a little bit more like a pumpkin. And then I'm going to go back and I'm just going to give it some fun little accents. Just here and there. So I'm just poking some holes with my toothpick. And create some little stitch marks here. So just go around the pumpkin and give it some nice little whimsical detail. You can do as much or as little as you like. And when you're finished, you're going to set your pumpkin aside. Now we're going to work on the leaf. And to begin the leaf, you're going to start with a ball. You can see a progression of shapes here that is a little bit larger than a pea. And when you flatten this ball just on one side with your finger, you create a point, or what I call a tapered log. Now we're going to press this flat, and you'll wind up with this shape like you see here. So it's kind of a flattened teardrop. So come back in with your toothpick here, and with the point of the toothpick, you're going to draw a little vein mark down the center, and then add the vein marks along the side. And you can refine this just a little bit. Sometimes you have to work a little and then refine it a little until you have your leaf shape like this. Next we're going to assemble our pumpkin, and so what I've done is I've created a little divot with my finger, and then this hole I made by poking my toothpick in and just kind of doing a little circular motion. It rounds out that hole a little bit so that you can just press your stem down into that hole, and that acts to connect your stem with your pumpkin. Now we're going to follow that with the leaf. Press that down. You might want to make this look a little bit more natural just by refining that leaf shape there. And now we're going to poke in our wire shape. So this is ready to go into the oven for about 30 minutes, and you're going to bake this according to your manufacturer's baking instructions. Now that your pumpkin is baked and it is completely cool, what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of just plain acrylic brown paint to the surface, and this, you know, makes it a little more realistic. It also gets into those cracks, and it kind of highlights all of the detail work that you put into it, because let's face it, if you can't see the detail, then why go to all that trouble, right? So completely cover your pumpkin in brown paint like this. Make sure, I'm using a makeup sponge, but you can use a paintbrush too. Make sure that you get it into all those little nooks and crannies, and you are going to get your fingers a little messy. Now when this is finished, you can put a sealer on that, and I've got a really good tip for the sealer. If you will check out the project instructions, you can download those from the website at lindapetersondesigns.com or cool2craft.com. So make sure you do that, because it is a really inexpensive tip for putting a nice little sheen onto any of your polymer clay. It could be jewelry, and anytime you use polymer clay. Now, just before it dries, then you're going to go over and kind of wipe away the excess. And if you want it a little dirty, that's fine. You don't have to wipe it off. It's your choice. Now you can see we've got it all highlighted. So if you miss any areas, you can go back over them, and you can do that as many times as you need. And then your last step would just be to go ahead and insert your little piece of wire here that I've coiled. This is a 20 or an 18 or 20 gauge wire that I've just put in a coil. So you're going to insert that and add your picture.